The Galactic Council underestimated human rage. Their first mistake, and soon to be their last. The grand chambers of the Galactic Council were abuzz with a fervor unseen in centuries. Representatives from countless star systems floated in their grav platforms, their multi-limbed, multi-eyed, and multicolored forms expressing a myriad of emotions: confusion, fear, curiosity. At the center of this cosmic amphitheater, the Supreme Chancellor, a towering insectoid figure known as Zor, called for order. Members of the council. Zor's voice resonated through the chamber. A series of clicks and hisses translated instantly into the universal language. We convene today to address the issue of Earth and its inhabitants, the humans. A low murmur spread through the assembly. Earth's ascension in technology and influence had not gone unnoticed. Humanity, once bound to a single planet, had rapidly expanded, sending colonies and ships far beyond their solar system. Their tenacity, innovation, and relentless drive had both fascinated and alarmed the galaxy. We have received numerous reports of human transgressions, Zor continued. Their aggressive expansion, disregard for interstellar law, and their failure to respect the sovereignty of other species. These actions can no longer be ignored. From a shadowed corner of the chamber, General Threk, a hulking reptilian with scales glistening like polished obsidian, growled in agreement. Humans are a threat to the balance of our galaxy. They must be contained before their hubris leads to greater conflict. The vote was swift and decisive. The Galactic Council, in a rare show of unity, sanctioned Earth, imposing severe restrictions on trade, travel, and communication. Human ambassadors were expelled, and a blockade was established around their home system. The news reached Earth within hours, and the reaction was immediate. The president of the United Earth Federation, General Marcus Steele, a man known for his iron will and unyielding patriotism, stood before the world with a message that would echo through history. My fellow humans, his voice was a calm storm, brimming with restrained fury. Today, the so-called Galactic Council has chosen to sanction us, to treat us as criminals in our own galaxy. They believe they can intimidate us, control us. They are wrong. They have forgotten who we are. We are the descendants of warriors, pioneers, dreamers. We do not bow to threats. We do not break under pressure. We rise. We fight. We win. The crowd roared in approval, from the bustling metros to the far-flung colonies. Humanity rallied. Factories ramped up production of warships and weapons. Scientists worked around the clock to develop new technologies, and soldiers prepared for battle with a resolve that bordered on fanaticism. Within weeks, the first human fleet, a formidable armada bristling with advanced weaponry and shielded by cutting-edge defenses, departed from Earth's orbit. Their mission was clear: break the blockade, punish those who dared to sanction Earth, and remind the galaxy why humanity was not to be trifled with. The Galactic Council's blockade, composed of ships from various member species, was stationed at the edge of the solar system. They were confident in their numbers, in their technological superiority, underestimating the raw determination and ingenuity that defined humanity. The initial clash was brutal and swift. Human ships, faster and more maneuverable than their alien counterparts, wove through the blockade, unleashing devastating volleys of missiles and energy blasts. Alien ships, built for patrol and peacekeeping, were ill-prepared for the ferocity of the human assault. General Threk, commanding the blockade fleet, watched in disbelief as his ships were torn apart. How could this be? He roared, slamming a clawed fist into his control panel. We outnumber them 2-1. Numbers don't matter when you're fighting for survival, a voice crackled over the comms. It was Admiral John Reynolds, commander of the human fleet. This is just the beginning. Threk, tell your council we are coming for them. With the blockade shattered, the path to the Galactic Council's heart lay open. Humanity's message was clear. They would not be constrained. They would not be controlled, and anyone who tried would face the full wrath of Earth. As the human fleet advanced, General Steele addressed the world once more. To every human across the stars, know this: we are united, we are strong, and we will not stop until our enemies are dust and the galaxy knows the price of crossing humanity. The war had begun, and there would be no peace until victory was absolute. The Galactic Council's headquarters, a magnificent construct of crystalline towers and floating platforms, stood as a symbol of unity and peace for centuries. Now it was a fortress under siege. Reports of the human advance filled the airwaves with dread and disbelief. The Council had underestimated their resolve, and the price of that error was becoming clearer by the hour. General Threck, nursing his wounded pride and a broken arm, limped into the war room. Around him, representatives from dozens of species argued, their voices a cacophony of panic and desperation. Zor, maintaining a facade of calm, silenced them with a gesture. "Order, please." Zor's mandibles clicked rhythmically, a subtle sign of his own anxiety. "We must act swiftly and decisively. The human fleet has broken through our outer defenses and is now less than a week away from our core systems." A holographic display flickered to life, showing the advancing human fleet, a relentless wave of destruction. Alien strategists highlighted points of attack, proposing countermeasures, but nothing seemed sufficient. The humans were like a tidal wave, unstoppable and merciless. "We need to focus our defenses on our strongest fortresses," suggested a bulbous amphibious being known as Counselor VX. "Draw them into a battle of attrition. They cannot have infinite resources." "They don't need infinite resources," General Threck growled. "Their ships are smaller, faster, and their tactics brutal. They're not fighting for territory. They're fighting for revenge." Meanwhile, in the depths of space, the human fleet pressed forward. Admiral Reynolds stood on the bridge of the flagship Indomitable, his eyes fixed on the star map. "Status report," he barked. "All ships are holding position," replied Captain Harris, a veteran of Earth's earlier conflicts. "We've detected the first line of their core defenses. It appears they're concentrating their forces around key locations, likely their main supply routes and command centers." Reynolds nodded. "They're scared. They think they can outlast us. Let's prove them wrong. Prepare for the next jump." As the human fleet surged forward, they encountered fierce resistance. Alien ships, more numerous and diverse than before, threw themselves into the fray with a desperation born of survival. Battles raged across star systems, each clash a testament to human tenacity and ingenuity. In one particularly heated engagement, the Indomitable led a daring assault on a heavily fortified asteroid base. The base, bristling with weaponry and shielded by advanced technology, was a linchpin in the Council's defensive network. "Incoming fire!" shouted a crewman as the ship rocked violently. Explosions rippled across the hull, but the human ships pressed on, weaving through the deadly barrage with precision. "Target their shield generators," Reynolds ordered. "We need to break through their defenses." A squadron of fighters peeled away, diving towards the base with laser focus. Alien interceptors swarmed to meet them, and the void lit up with the ferocity of the battle. The human fighters, outmatched in numbers but superior in tactics, executed a series of daring maneuvers, slipping past the defenders and unleashing their payloads. The asteroid base shuddered as explosions rippled across its surface. Shields flickered and died, and the human capital ships moved in for the kill. Beams of searing energy lanced out, tearing through the once impenetrable fortifications. The base's defenses crumbled, and with a final cataclysmic blast, it was reduced to a field of debris. Cheers erupted on the Indomitable's bridge, but Reynolds remained stoic. "This is just the beginning," he muttered. "They'll throw everything they have at us now." Indeed, the destruction of the asteroid base sent shockwaves through the Council. Panic turned to resolve, and they mobilized every available resource. The next encounters were even more brutal, with the aliens employing scorched earth tactics, sacrificing entire planets to slow the human advance. In one such battle over the lush world of Vixar, the skies were filled with fire as human and alien fleets clashed. Vixar's defenders, a proud warrior race known as the Zathrian, fought with unmatched ferocity. Their ships, heavily armored and armed with devastating plasma cannons, gave the humans their toughest fight yet. "These Zathrian are relentless," Captain Harris remarked, wiping sweat from his brow. "Our losses are mounting." Reynolds nodded grimly. "We can't afford to get bogged down here. Prepare the planetary bombardment cannons." "But, sir, Vixar is home to millions of civilians," Harris protested. "It's a paradise world. Every delay costs us more lives," Reynolds snapped. "We have our orders. Fire." The bombardment cannons, massive weapons capable of leveling entire cities, unleashed their fury. The surface of Vixar was transformed into a hellscape of fire and ash. The Zathrian defenders, seeing their world destroyed, fought with even greater desperation. But it was futile. The human fleet pressed on, leaving Vixar as a stark warning to any who dared resist. As the human fleet neared the heart of the Galactic Council's territory, the tension on both sides reached a boiling point. The Finn-Al confrontation was imminent, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. General Steele's words echoed through every human ship. No mercy, no surrender. We fight until the galaxy remembers why they should fear us. The stage was set for a cataclysmic battle, one that would determine the future of humanity and the galaxy itself. There would be no turning back, no peace until victory was absolute. The humans were coming, and the galaxy would never be the same. The final battle for the fate of the galaxy loomed large as the human fleet advanced relentlessly toward the Galactic Council's core world, Gadri. The planet was a shining jewel, its surface covered in majestic cities and vibrant landscapes, now bracing for an onslaught. The Council's remaining forces, an armada of desperate and varied species, gathered in a last-ditch effort to halt the human juggernaut. On board the Indomitable, Admiral John Reynolds prepared his crew for the decisive clash. "This is it," he announced over the ship-wide intercom. "Everything we fought for comes down to this battle. Remember why we're here. Remember every ship, every soldier we've lost. Today, we avenge them. Today, we secure our place in the galaxy." The human fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Gadri system, a formidable sight that sent ripples of fear through the Council's ranks. General Threk, now fully recovered and more determined than ever, coordinated the defense from his command ship, the Vigilant. He knew that failure here meant the end of everything the Council stood for. "All ships, hold the line!" Threk roared. "We cannot let them reach Gadri." The void between the two forces erupted in a symphony of destruction. Energy beams, missiles, and projectiles filled the space, ships on both sides maneuvering with desperate agility. Human ships, smaller and more agile, darted through the chaos, exploiting every weakness with precision strikes. Admiral Reynolds watched the battle unfold, his face a mask of focus. "Target their command ships," he ordered. "Cut off the head, and the body will die." The Indomitable led the charge, flanked by a squadron of heavily armed cruisers. They sliced through the Council's lines, driving toward the heart of the enemy fleet. The alien ships fought back with unmatched ferocity, their desperation turning the battle into a brutal melee. In the thick of the fight, the Vigilant and the Indomitable finally came face to face. The two command ships unleashed everything they had, their shields flaring under the intense bombardment. Inside the Vigilant, General Threk's eyes burned with rage and determination. Admiral Reynolds' voice crackled over an open channel. "You've brought nothing but chaos and death. This ends now." "You're right," Reynolds replied coldly. "It ends now." The two ships clashed, their hulls groaning under the strain. Boarding parties were dispatched, and fierce hand-to-hand combat erupted within the corridors of both vessels. Reynolds himself led the charge into the Vigilant, his plasma rifle blazing in the dimly lit corridors of the alien ship. Humans and aliens fought with savage intensity. Reynolds pushed forward, his squad cutting a path through the defenders. He reached the command center, where Threk awaited, towering and imposing. "This is for Earth," Reynolds spat, raising his rifle. "And this is for the galaxy," Threk growled, lunging forward. The two leaders clashed, their weapons and wills locked in a deadly struggle. Threk's strength and ferocity were matched by Reynolds' agility and determination. The fight was brutal and relentless, each blow echoing the stakes of the conflict. In a final desperate move, Reynolds managed to strike a critical blow, his plasma blade piercing Threk's armored hide. The alien general staggered, his eyes filled with disbelief and pain. With a final roar, he collapsed, leaving Reynolds standing victorious but bloody. "Command center secure," Reynolds reported, his voice steady despite his wounds. "Signal the fleet. It's over." The fall of the Vigilant signaled the collapse of the Council's defenses. Human ships surged forward, overwhelming the remaining alien forces. The once proud armada of the Galactic Council shattered, leaving Gadri exposed. On the surface of the Council's capital, panic and chaos reigned. Civilians and officials alike scrambled to evacuate, their orderly society crumbling under the weight of impending doom. The human fleet, now orbiting the planet, prepared for the final assault. General Marcus Steele, overseeing the operation from Earth, contacted Reynolds. "Admiral, the time has come. Execute Plan Omega." Reynolds nodded. "Understood, General. All ships, commence planetary bombardment." Massive cannons aboard the human fleet aimed at Gadri, unleashing a torrent of destruction. The cities and landscapes of the Council's homeworld were consumed in fire and devastation. The heart of the Galactic Council, the symbol of unity and peace, was reduced to ruins. As the smoke cleared, the human fleet hovered over the shattered remains of Gadri. The once mighty Galactic Council was no more, its members either dead or in hiding. Humanity had asserted its dominance, and the galaxy would forever remember the cost of underestimating Earth. Admiral Reynolds, standing on the bridge of the Indomitable, looked out at the wreckage. "The war is over," he said quietly. "We've won." But the victory came at a terrible price. The galaxy was left in chaos, countless worlds scarred by the conflict. Humanity had proven its strength, but at what cost? The future was uncertain. A new era dawning in the wake of the Galactic Council's fall. General Steele addressed the United Earth Federation once more. "Today, we stand as the rulers of the galaxy. Let this be a lesson to all. Humanity is not to be trifled with. We have earned our place among the stars, and we will defend it with every ounce of our strength. To those who seek to challenge us, know this: we are united, we are strong, and we will never back down." As the human fleet returned to Earth, victorious but weary, the galaxy began to rebuild. New alliances would form, new conflicts would arise, but one truth remained clear: humanity had risen, and their place in the stars was secured. Through fire and blood, the age of Earth had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.